Hey girls, welcome to Girls Can 2. This is a vlog series where I'll be sharing tips and tricks about our bikes. And on this second episode, I will be talking about the things that you need to check before you go out on a ride. So I have 6 things to share with you that you need to check before you go out on a ride, and that's the A, P, C, W, S, and S. So letter A is for air, letter B is for brakes, C for chains, W for wobbliness, of course that's the movement of parts, and the 2 S's are for suspension and spokes, which you can of course check interchangeably. So let's go ahead and look at our bikes on how we can check each of those 6 things. Let's go. So the first thing that we have to check is the air or the air pressure on our tires. So just give it a little pinch, and if you think it's a little low on pressure, make sure that you fill it up again before you go out on a ride. Next up are the brakes. So give it 5 to 10 pulls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And check for consistency of the pulls, so it's not too far in or too far out. If it's inconsistent, it needs bleeding. And also try to press the brakes and give it a push. Make sure that the wheels don't move. So this means that it's actually braking on your rotor. The next thing to check is the chain. So for the chain, we're going to check if it can shift smoothly. And I'm going to start the back. I have a 2-speed over here, so I'm going to check if it shifts smoothly on both rigs. So next we're going to check for wobbles or the wobbliness of some of the parts. So I'll start with the headset over here. So I'm just going to break this and give it a slight push, and there should be no movement on your headset. Next is the saddle. So I'm just going to give this a little shake here, and it should not be moving. And then lastly, for the crank arm here, just give it a little shake here, and it shouldn't wobble with respect to the center of the crank arm. So the next thing to check is the suspension. So since I have a hardtail bike, my only suspension is the fork, and this fork will be moving up and down on rough terrain. So this is our main suspension. So I have a remote lockout over here, so I can control if this suspension on the fork is open or closed. So currently it's in the lock position, it's currently closed, and I'm gonna try and push down on the fork, and it shouldn't move. So there is no movement on this part of the fork. Now I'm gonna release the lock, and this time there will be movement. The last thing to check is spokes. So the spokes are basically these rods over here that connects your rims, your entire wheel to the body of the bike. So this has to be really stable. So to do or to check for stability, to check for the spokes, just give it a little pinch around and it shouldn't be moving. It's a little flexy. It could bend a little, but not so much as to it being broken. Air, brakes, chain, wobbliness, suspension, and spokes. If you have all 6, you're basically good to go out on a ride. So this bike is good to go out on a ride.